Hey guys, welcome back to the Aspie World. So today's video is proudly endorsed by Edge TV, an online channel network where you can see all my videos and everything. I will leave a link in the description below. They also sent me this awesome Roku TV unit. If you have Roku, you can get the Edge TV app on there, so you can catch all my videos on your TV set through Roku and the Edge TV app. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between Tourette's syndrome and Asperger's syndrome. A lot of people kind of have this idea that that sometimes they're one and the same, and a lot of people have asked the question, is there a difference between Tourette's syndrome and Asperger's syndrome? So I'm here to kind of clean all that up and see if we can make some sense of all this. So Tourette's syndrome is an inherent neurological disorder. So Asperger's also is a neurological disorder, but not the current medical stance is that they don't know if it's hereditary or if it's genetic or if it's environmental, but they are both neurological disorders. Tourette's syndrome is characterized by the presence of multiple tics, physical tics, and at least one audio tic. So there's like motor tics and there's audio tics. So you need at least one of those to have the diagnosis of Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome is a comorbid condition and usually exists with Asperger's syndrome. So that means that if you have Asperger's syndrome, there's a possibility you could have Tourette's, but if you have Tourette's, there's no possibility that you could have Asperger's syndrome. So the definition of Asperger's is an autism spectrum disorder, and the definition of Tourette's is it's a spectrum of tic disorders. So there's a range of different tic disorders, and Tourette's is one of those and not one of the autism spectrum disorders. So the interesting thing about tics is that when people have Tourette's syndrome tics, they sometimes could mimic that of a autism spectrum tic, which would be classed as stimming in autism, but they'd be classed as a tic within Tourette's syndrome. The kind of interesting thing about this is that like the vast majority of kids who have Tourette's syndrome don't have autism spectrum disorders or don't have autism. So it's more likely that the children with Tourette's will have like ADHD and OCD, but not actually Asperger's syndrome. So it's quite rare to find somebody who has Tourette's syndrome and autism. But there is a possibility that, say you have Asperger's syndrome, that you will have tics that are related to Tourette's syndrome because it's comorbid. So to me, yeah, I mean, I've never really met many people with Tourette's syndrome, and I know quite a few people with Asperger's syndrome, but the people I know with Asperger's syndrome don't actually have any Tourette's syndrome kind of characteristics or symptoms or anything like that. So it was kind of really interesting that I wanted to do this video because, in my opinion, from the offset, I would say no, that, you know, Tourette's is not a form of autism and Tourette's is not a form of Asperger's syndrome. And a lot of people get confused. They think that, I've had comments where people have asked, you know, is Tourette's syndrome the same as Asperger's syndrome? Is there a difference between them? Yeah, you know, there's a huge difference between them. Dr. Robert King at the Yale Child Study Center actually said that there's a huge difference. You know, that's the problem with like trying to categorize and understand Tourette's syndrome and Asperger's syndrome. They are so complex in their individuality that it's very difficult to find kind of some connection between them. The only connection they've got is that it's comorbid in the fact that, you know, if you have Asperger's syndrome or autism, there's a possibility that you have Tourette's syndrome. There's no way of telling, you know, what causes these conditions in a simple sense. So you know, so yeah, I mean, these conditions are not linked together. I myself do have certain tics. I've had tics my entire life, and I guess that when I was speaking to my doctors about it, when I was going through all the diagnosis process, the doctors were like, well, yeah, you know, this is normal, this is what people with Asperger's syndrome, you know, it's more common for them to have tics. There is another YouTuber which I watch and I am friends with, and her channel is Let's Talk Tics, and she actually has Asperger's syndrome as well as Tourette's syndrome, which is quite fascinating really, because again, it's somewhat rare. But there you go, that is my entire reach of people I know with Tourette's syndrome and Asperger's syndrome. But let me know what you guys think. I'd like to know if you got any comments or input on this matter. I read every single comment, so please put a comment in the comment section below. I'll reply to every single one, because I really want to know. It's a really fascinating subject, and all I know is what I've researched currently about it and what I can see from what I have gathered my whole life. So any input would be fantastic. Guys, if you'd like to learn more about autism and Asperger's syndrome, you can click the subscribe button that will appear here. And if you are wanting to check out some of my other videos on my playlist on Asperger's Help, there is a video down here for you guys to go and check out right now. So I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.